thought about watching this movie 10, 15 years from now, and if it felt too contemporary, it felt like it was really made in 1993. I always felt that we'd be embarrassed by it in about 10 years. And when I saw it 2 weeks ago, and it really felt as if it were made yesterday. And I thought, well, that was something that we really set out to do, to make a movie that would always sort of stand the test of time. Not to be so presumptuous as to say it was timeless, but at the same time, so it doesn't look like Saturday Night Fever when you're watching it. So it doesn't feel like a timepiece. So that people can enjoy it, hopefully 50 years from now.
And the idea of Mrs. Doubtfire in hot pants really only worked in Oakland. But it's a whole thing, you know. But I think it just has a special look. It does. And also shooting in San Francisco helped a lot too, because being in drag here is kind of a tradition. It isn't like, oh, what are you doing?
Right, exactly.
Like, oh, look. Yeah.
There are certain films when you're shooting within a week of shooting, you wish you could just run and take a plane somewhere to the middle of Europe and never finish it.
Yeah, when you see the Teamsters going, it's okay, you'll be all right.
Yeah, that's a little frightening. But this movie was working from the beginning, and the character, Robin's character worked so well in our first screen test that it was pretty amazing. And what was interesting about the picture is that we would always start with, it was like an unspoken rule, a scripted take, 1 or 2 scripted takes, and then Robin would start to improvise. And really by the time we had finished the picture, Roger Gosnell was the editor, and I had about 7 different versions of the film. And it was the first time I had edited on a computer system, so we were able to actually create different versions of scenes.
Yeah.
So there is the PG version, the PG-13 version, the R version, the NC-17 version, and they're all. And the NC-17 version is the best. It is the funniest. It's
a bit rough,
but it is. We knew that our audience would be diminished. We tried to push it as far as we could within a sort of a PG-13 environment. And I remember when Robin's teeth fell out during the restaurant scene. It was a complete accident. They fall into the water glass. And when you started improvising at that moment, I actually had to leave the set, crawling on all fours because I was crying so hard. I was laughing so hard, I was crying. I'd never seen anything like it. And we always had to keep 2 cameras or 3 cameras moving at the same time, rolling at the same time, because the actors could never, the other actors, Sally Field or Pierce or any of the kids, we could never duplicate their reaction to the first time they saw Robin do something. So it was kind of reality TV and filmmaking combined. It is a documentary of exactly what was going on the set. And I was so absorbed in what was going on, loving everything he was doing, that I just wanted him to keep going. And he wouldn't stop. I was always very much into storyboarding and planning each shot and doing it in 2 or 3 takes and moving on. And then when I did Doubtfire, it was a whole new way of looking at filmmaking. I don't think I've ever gone back to doing a film like that. Part of it is really painful, I have to say, because it is exhausting. I'm sure Robin would be the first person to tell you it was exhausting. But it is exhausting, and you have to question yourself when you're shooting so many different versions, right, how the tone of the entire piece is going to be affected. Because if you do push it too far comedically in one direction, then the dramatic sections of the film won't work. So, but I did love it because I'm fortunate enough to have seen all the versions of this film, and it really there were some things that were just outrageously funny that unfortunately will never see the light of day.
And it was pretty wild, the stuff that we did, and the makeup tests are literally kind of like a little bit of what we kind of went through to create the look for her, and realizing that me without full prosthetics is not very attractive as a woman.
Oh, it was such a shanda. I should never buy Gribbinus from a moil. It's so chewy. No, I feel like Bobby. This is not working.
Yeah, no, this isn't working. But don't worry, it's a work in progress, and you're my brother. I will never let you be embarrassed.
God bless you.
I think we're gonna have to do the entire face.
We did all these screen tests and the makeup and even with the beanbag body. And you have to also know that there will be parts too where you'll see her in various states of disrepair, and that too. I remember creeping the hell out of Becky, my assistant, one day. I was angry, and I was in kind of a cut-off sleeveless T-shirt with my hairy arms, just the face makeup, my hair kind of greased back because I hadn't had the wig on, and it was frightening.
You used to come to rehearsals like that.
Yeah, it's like, all right, now what the hell, we're moving. And, you know, sometimes it's like, ooh, scary. But once all the makeup was on, and from a distance about from where you are to me, people couldn't see. And it was kind of fun wandering around as her and being this sweet little Scottish woman who was tough sometimes, and that a lot of people come up and go, you remind me of my aunt. And I went, oh dear, what a lovely thing. That's so great to know that your aunt was a cross-dresser. But the idea of the makeup, I'd have to get up. The good news is we set up a makeup room in the basement of our house because we were shooting on the same street that I live. Coincidence? Probably.
Probably.
And I would go in at about 3 or 4 in the morning, and then it would take 3 or 4 hours, and then we'd start shooting. So by the time we hit the ground running, and Chris's casting of all the people, Pierce in his first role, you know, since this TV series.
Yeah.
And Sally coming and playing, you know, tough but also loving, you know. And the kids, all of them, being just, you know, like a family and kind of at each other, and, you know, the dynamic of the older kids, like being like, yeah, this, and wanting and angry and yet still kind of dealing with their sadness. All of that stuff helps. The only unrealistic thing was initially, early on, is there was a lot of pressure that the family should stay together, that they should get, you know, the marriage works out, which most family therapists would say is the most dangerous thing to do to a child if you're going through a divorce or a separation. And that's kind of the idea of how do you get through that? How do you get through it with a, you know, dignity and for the most important thing, for the sake of the children. Because children will adapt, but it's the idea of leaving them in this kind of either a fantasy or another zone. That's kind of bad. I mean, I think that's the effect of the movie, too, for, you know, positive and negative in terms of the people who related to it related saying, thank you, it helped me through a troubling time. The people who were angry at it said, you glorified divorce. I said, no, we're not. We're saying it's painful and a tough thing that occurs. And it's something that we wanted to talk about in the movie with using comedy to talk about something that is, you know, is kind of touchy for a lot of people and painful. And to say the bottom line is deal love with your children and you can come through it.
I actually don't think people would have responded to the movie as positively if we copped out and did that, you know. And it really became a philosophy. I've seen a lot of divorce in my own family, and I always felt that the kids, the products of divorce, the kids who were in these situations always felt not only that they were responsible, but that for some reason that I hated to hear the marriage was a failure. That to me was always like, just time ran out and things moved on and people changed. And that was a bit of the philosophy of the film, which was it's okay. My favorite part of the film is the final little voiceover by Mrs. Doubtfire talking about it doesn't matter what kind of family you belong to. You belong to something and you're part of that family. And that was I still don't see that in a lot of films. So I think, you know, I think that's one of the best things
simplest
about
and kind of direct thing about saying families exist in many forms. And I think some people are kind of like, well, what are you doing? Why just be funny? And you go, you're funny, but it's also the point he's dealing with something that's very real.
Is there anything I could do to get my parents back together? You know, some parents, when they're angry, they get along much better when they don't live together. They don't fight all the time, and they can become better people and much better mummies and daddies for you. And sometimes they get back together. And sometimes they don't, dear. And if they don't blame yourself. Just because they don't love each other anymore doesn't mean that they don't love you.
It's also the idea of raising children as a single parent, dealing with that, and the idea of a father taking responsibility and being part of that equation, rather than just going, okay, good luck, bye, I'm out of here. Not being a deadbeat, saying, no, I'm there. I want part of this. I do believe that I will share and make custody something that is a responsibility, not like and feels a duty more than just a responsibility.
It is the court's ruling to award sole custody to Mrs. Hillard.
Congratulations.
Your Honor, please. I mean, every Saturday, that's 1 day a week. That's not enough. I have to be with my children. It's not a question, really. I mean, I have to be with them, sir.
Adults who had been going through kind of troubled times said thanks. You know, it helped my family, myself, get through their divorce or get through the idea of whatever's going on between you and your spouse or whatever, leave them out of it. And the idea of don't make them combatants. Make them, and protect them and deal with them with love and honesty. And things will, it's painful, but things will work out and you'll come out okay.
Most people who come up to me talk about Doubtfire as the favorite film that I've done. I'd say the best compliment, I mean, for me, I can give the film, since it's one of the films, if it's on television, I'll watch it. It's one of the few films I've been involved with that I'll sit back and I'm still entertained by it, and I can only say that about a couple of things I've done, and even, but this movie I really enjoy watching. I have to say, I always do think about, because studios are always coming up to Robin and me and saying, well, what about a sequel? How would you
The hardest part
possibly
is, I mean, they've tried a couple of times, and you keep saying, just, how do you do it? How do you do it once? Because at the end of the movie, you've kind of blown the identity, and it would always have to be, it always comes out to being you start off as her and she transitions into someone else. It's very hard to keep her character going once the kids know who she is. I mean, it's like, hello, are you all on medication?
Right,
exactly. Like, give the kids, they're all in rehab and I take care of them. But the idea that, it's really hard to pull it off, and they've tried, and people keep saying, especially, it seems to be in England where they go, I hear you're doing Doubtfire too, can't wait. I guess you'll have to. Because so far it hasn't worked, but, maybe, because maybe there's something you can't top there, and that's kind of cool.
There is one thing in the back of my head. I mean, it's the one rare time in the history of film where you could actually play the same character you played 20 years ago, and nothing changes because of the makeup. And that's fascinating to me, because people have fallen in love with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
And I haven't, I mean, you can't really do it because Dustin didn't wear much makeup in Tootsie. Forget about something like, we didn't want to go to something like that. But the concept of actually playing a character again where nothing changes is fascinating to me. And that's what Doubtfire has, is this, she never ages. So
it's just always hard to figure out what to do with that. I mean, and they, obviously as a studio, they're going, we find a way.
Yeah.
But you can't go by that. You have to make it work for us to say, if we're going to do like 4.5 hours of makeup again, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
Or if not, we'll be okay.
I have to say, work-wise, it was always I mean, the days were long. They were much longer for Robin, obviously. But during the course of the shooting, it was always, it was daunting, the amount of work. Because you really only shoot, I've gone back, in a sense, just to keep my sanity, I've gone back to shooting 1 or 2 takes, and I don't think I could physically do it as a director all the time. But at the same time, through that kind of intense scrutiny and intense pain, sometimes you make a really strong film, and that's what I'm proud of. It was one of the great sort of filmmaking experiences I've ever had.
It was a kind of a wonderful family experience shooting it. It was tough, and it was hard work, but there's something kind of joyous about it. And like you said, we had as tough as it was, you come out the other side going, it was a good time, and I think it shows up on film.
Bravo Figaro, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo. A te fortuna, non mancherà. La 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 la. A te fortuna, non mancherà. Sono il factotum della città, sono il factotum della città, della città, della città, della città.
Take 9 marker.
Set. And background! Action!
My wife first read the book 6 years ago. And it was an English children's story called Alias Madame Doubtfire by Anne Fine. And she just read it. I think an agent at CAA sent it to her saying, look at this book. She thought she just thought it'd be a great idea for me to play that character. I mean, just the comedy potential, so that was incredible.
I liked the idea that a man would have to play a woman and do it well enough to pass. I looked at things at that point more in terms of the range that it would require of Robin as an actor. And I figured that, you know, we could make the rest work around that. I mean, I was just purely interested in the idea of Robin playing this woman more than anything.
She basically nurtured this thing through all the different levels, you know, a couple of different writers, you know, each time it was improving. Then they asked if Chris could have a crack at it. And he had some ideas, met with us, and he said, those sound interesting. And then he, you know, it's one thing to have the pitch, it's another thing to actually see it fulfilled.
Set, and action.
There were several drafts of the script before I got involved. And I read the script, and it was good. I mean, I never want to get into a situation where I'm negating the other writers' contributions, because the other writers contributed a great deal, especially to me wanting to get involved with the picture. But I felt that the film, at that point, lacked a real good sense of humor. It didn't have a lot of heart. And the biggest problem was Daniel Hillard and Miranda got back together at the end of the picture.
We really didn't want to take it away from what we feel is the reality in the world and in the country in terms of divorcing families and what ultimately happens. And, you know, we didn't want to make a Cinderella kind of story.
I think all great comedy, really, you need to have a good, solid, almost almost realistic basis, and you can play off of that. So the fact you have Robin Williams dressed as a 65-year-old woman trying to win his family back is, to me, the makings of a great comedy.
I think people a lot of times think of Chris in terms of his comedy, but he has such a warmth that I also think that, you know, that he brings to any project. And to these scenes, I mean, this is a perfect project for him in that it is very dramatic, but, you know, also you have the comedy element.
So I got involved actively with the rewrite. It took about 3 months to really nail a good, what I felt was a good version of the film. And that's what we sent to Robin and Marcia. And that's really the point when Robin decided to do the picture, when he finally committed to the picture.
His rewrite came in, and I said, this looks interesting. It finally has it had an emotional feel to it, plus it was funny. He heightened the comedy, plus gave it kind of an emotional level, which was great. And that's when I said, I'll do it.
Well, I look forward to meeting you.
Oh, lovely, dear. Me too.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta. Showtime.
Robin has always been one of my screen idols. I mean, there are about 5 or 6 actors I really wanted to work with, and Robin is one of them. And for me, it was a dream come true. So it was really an opportunity to work with someone who I consider in the same sort of comedic league as Charlie Chaplin. You know, someone who really can combine emotion and brilliant comedy at the same time.
You wanted to get the one where I'd send them off, basically, like the, oh, Mrs. Doubtfire.
For me, the best part about it all was to play someone totally unlike myself. That's why I wanted to do it. And it isn't just drag, but it was just the fact that it was like to have this character that really had a life of her own. And no longer does it look anything like myself, and you're free to be this woman and create her and to make her, you know, as funny as you can, but yet still be in character. There's certain boundaries.
Good. You go with the flow. I will, dear. You too. Boogie on, as they say. There we go till we drop. That's it.
And sometimes I would cross over them, but most of the time I could stay within her, who she was, and be this kind of sweet, blue-mouthed old woman. You know?
Which one?
What's the occasion?
It's my birthday.
Oh.
Sally was a leading contender from the very beginning. I think when everyone read the script, Sally, there's always several people that you have in your mind, but just felt like Sally was really the right person for the role.
Sally is the actress with the most likable quotient I can imagine. She's an amazing actress. She is equally adept, like Robin, at comedy and drama. She can also keep up with Robin, which is very important. And she also, which is key to the picture, is likable to everyone in the theater. So no one dislikes Sally Field because of who she is. So you utilize her, what she brings to the picture in the character of Miranda, and she very much rounds out the character, and I think that's important.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, thank you. You look lovely. Oh, guys, I'm so glad you could make it.
Oh, by the looks of you, that water's so cold.
Yes, well...
Here you are, you're divorced, you really love your kids, you want to be with your kids, but you're unfortunately divorced, your wife doesn't love you anymore, and you're dressed as a 60-year-old woman. Here comes the new James Bond walking into their lives. The perfect guy. There's nothing wrong with him. He loves the kids, he loves her, he's going to give them a better life than Daniel Hillard ever could. What's more frustrating and more upsetting for Robin as Mrs. Doubtfire? To me, that was a perfect comedic combination.
The part was written really well. He could have been a jerk, and he was a likable character. He was a businessman who's made his fortune. He's got everything in life. Traveled, you know, but he doesn't have a family. And he falls in love with this woman, who's an old flame from his past, Sally Field, Miranda, and she just happens to have children.
The thing about Mara Wilson is she was completely new. She had not done any theater, she had not done any film work, she had done a couple of commercials. So she was like taking a real person and putting her in front of a camera. Daddy! With those three kids, I found a real sense of reality and naturalism. You've got Matt Lawrence, who's got a lot of film experience, a lot of TV experience, and also Lisa Jacob. I tried to find kids, though, who did not let that experience cloud their performance level. And those kids just, to me, were very real and very natural.
And background. Background, action. What do you think of this?
A suit, that's nice.
I'm getting good at this. I can become a woman in less than 5 minutes.
That's great. Took my friend Jimmy 10 years.
With Harvey Fierstein, it was a kindred spirit, because when you got that voice, what do you need, Dietrich? You're off and running. Bingo. When he says right there, I'm ready for my close-up, get real, you know? He just flies right into him. I would say something, he could top it. I would top that. We would just go, you know? He builds off that.
It's not working. I need to go older.
Older? You mean like Shelley Winters older or Shirley MacLaine older?
What's the difference?
Some Scotch tape and red hair dye. We were booked to do this thing, and I was on my way to San Francisco, and somebody said, "Did you hear Robin is going to do this new movie, and he has a gay brother in it?" I said, wait a second, because I had seen Robin on Comic Relief Do Me, and I thought it was very flattering. So we get to San Francisco, and there's no dress rooms. They have, like, these buses out in the parking lot. So I'm sitting in my trailer, and I see him coming, and I tear the door open. I said, "How dare you? How dare you use my voice in vain?" And he started laughing, and I said, "Now, give me the job of your brother." And he turned to Marcia and said, "That's a good idea." 2 weeks later, I got a call. I had the job.
Could you make me a woman?
Honey, I'm so happy.
I knew you'd understand.
Every great actor to me, you can see their soul through their eyes. And that's the thing that's wonderful about Robin. You can see the pain in his heart, you can see the joy in his soul through his eyes. And I found that finding every other actor in this picture, I looked at their eyes. I looked into their eyes to see what I could find.
I don't know, this would scare the children, do they so? I don't know, maybe this was too much for them.
I think we have to go to the next level. Latex.
It's not just like other movies where if you're dressed up as a woman, you can fool people because they don't know who you are anyway as a man. You have to fool your own family. You have to fool especially your wife, who's seen you with nothing on.
You remind me of someone.
People say, you know, there's that method acting of, you know, you create the character and it kind of comes from within. This is one of those things that, as they added the elements, she appeared.
I always felt that Mrs. Doubtfire would be the grandmother that you always wanted, you know, the perfect grandmother.
Hello, Mrs. Hillard, I presume?
Yes, I'm Miranda Hillard.
Euphigenia Doubtfire.
Greg Canham designed the makeup, and Greg did several different sculptures on Robin's face. And we actually had a picture of a woman who resembles Mrs. Doubtfire quite a bit, and it was a black and white picture taken in the 40s. And Greg sort of fashioned this makeup after this picture of this woman that we had.
That look took really one Saturday to perfect. The makeup pieces were put onto Robin. He went through makeup. We'd all decided on a particular wig and hair color that we liked. We found wardrobe that we thought was perfect for Mrs. Doubtfire, the right glasses. And then we did a videotape test. And on that particular videotape test, it's the first time you actually see Mrs. Doubtfire. And the first time you actually, Robin started to feel comfortable in the role. And it's an amazing sort of transformation. It's almost like a screen test because Robin just became Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Señora Doubtfire, and I'm very, excuse me.
They had a television monitor set up. It was like, ooh, look at that. Ooh, isn't she, and ooh, my fun bags. Look at that. I saw everything and all of a sudden started to play with the voice. It was just so freeing to be able to be someone totally different.
Hello, your name is? Fred.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Can I take
Fred.
your coat for you?
Please, Fred. You look like a biker.
The makeup, I think on a good day would take 3 hours, 3.5. Bad day, 4 hours, 4.5.
We knew we had to get it down from there because they wanted to be able to shoot with him for at least 10 hours a day. So if it took us 4 hours to get him ready and an hour to get him out at night, that was going to make for a very long day for Robin. So the more we did it, the faster we got. Robin's makeup is comprised of 8 overlapping foam latex appliances, and they fit together kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. At this point, I'm going in with a colored Pax paint. On top of the Pax, I then go in with rubber mask grease paint, which I'm stippling on now, and that is also done in several layers. I'll do a flesh tone, then I'll go in with a pink tone, and then stipple a flesh tone back on top of it. Now Yolanda is placing the wig on, and there he is.
Will Pops have lipstick?
Are these what you want, sir?
That's Mom. Her bodysuit. Looks like that old ancient fertility doll that they used to make, the one that was out of clay, the one it's like, yeah, with the, yes, with the amazing hands.
Are these real tits?
They're actually kind of frightening when you see them, because it's made out of like a spandex and beans, and it's like a walking beanbag chair.
Oh, it feels lovely. Oh, pardon me, it's riding.
He was sitting on the couch with my 2 sisters who's gonna be on the film, and I didn't know that it was Mrs. Doubtfire or Robin. I just thought, well, it could be like the social worker or the teacher or something. But then they introduced me, I was like, oh. And it wasn't even, the makeup wasn't even really done yet still. It was still in its like first stages, and it was really amazing then.
And you are?
I'm Chris.
Hello, Chris. Yeah. Hello. Oops.
At that time, the only thing that gave me away, because I hadn't yet shaved my hands, I was all of a sudden, they went, hello. They went, oh, jeez. They thought, here's this old, it's the monkey woman. Oh, my God, Sigourney Weaver's mother. What is it there? Look at that there. It's gorillas in the mist. Oh, no.
Let's also look at our hands today. Different makeups on different hands. No longer quest for fire.
He's instilled with the spirit of a 65-year-old woman. That's all I can say. I mean, he no longer becomes the person I know. He becomes this woman. I really feel like I'm not talking to him anymore, even when he uses his own voice.
Stop. Don't do that. There. No.
Put it down.
The first voice was a little bit like that.
And then it softened up as she got softer, and it kind of, went from being Margaret Thatcher, transitioned a little bit into Julia Childs, and
Slowly but surely, Chris seemed to like that voice more than anything. There, and then if we bring up the tone, up to there, and start to play with a little bit of our S's and our T's, we're very much in the zone, I think. But, and if I want to increase volume, if you're not coming down now, don't make me come up the stairs, because it will not be a pretty picture.
Sometimes the first time you see him, Mrs. Doubtfire, you get a little scared. It kind of scares you. But then he doesn't.
And Robin really made that character. I mean, he gave her a lot of heart, and it really, if it wasn't for him, I mean, I don't think it would have been able to be pulled off, because it was just done really well, and I think it was Robin that really made it.
Are we close?
Any closer, and you'd be Mom.
And set the background. Action.
Oh, hello. You look lovely.
Thank you.
You got your swimsuits? You want to go for a dip?
I'd love to.
Yeah, good. Yeah?
Sorry, I don't have one. The tent maker died.
He was Mrs. Doubtfire 100%. I mean, it wasn't Robin Williams. I forgot about Robin Williams, actually. I only saw Robin Williams once when he poked his head around the door one morning and said, "Good morning." And I was like, oh, Jesus, there's Robin Williams.
You do sort of forget it's Robin, and you think it's this person, this other person. So you do catch yourself, but wait a minute, this is Robin.
Robin, when he was Robin, he was himself. But when he went into Mrs. Doubtfire, he was really her, and so it was pretty easy for me to see her and then him.
You want to get your swimsuits on? Go for a swim, maybe?
Yeah, great.
How about you, Mrs. Doubtfire?
Oh, no, dear. I think they've outlawed whaling. Thank you very much.
I remember thinking, geez, I'm going to be working with Robin Williams. What's it going to be like? You know, he's a very funny guy. And for me, it was just a question of really keeping it simple. Just doing the scene, doing what's on the paper. But of course, what was on the paper was not always what Robin would do, because Robin likes to extemporize and do his thing.
Oh, sir, I saw it. Some angry member of the kitchen staff. Did you not tip them? Oh, the terrorists, they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting.
Filmmaking is not playwriting. You know, you don't have to stick to the words so closely. In fact, you don't have to stick to the words at all in a lot of cases, especially in the case of a comedy. I feel improvisation is a key. And it's very important for us in this picture because we had one of Robin's brilliant talents is the fact that he can improvise so well, so beautifully. And I felt that that was such an important part of this picture.
He would let me try things, especially in, you know, there's some scenes we had to keep very simple, very tight. Obviously, some of the emotional scenes, it's better that you just, you know, stay confined, stay disciplined to that. But there's other scenes where we just had to kick out.
I had one more to try.
We still rolling?
Still rolling. Don't stop.
Let's go.
Don't fall apart.
Don't fall apart now.
And so tell us, what happened?
Dear, he died in the saddle.
Good God.
Yes, dear, it was so sad.
Who's sad?
Well, the horses, dear.
He was a rider?
He was a jockey. The gun went off, it startled him, he had a heart attack. He stiffened up.
He what? He did what?
He stiffened up.
He stiffened up.
Like that.
Like that.
I can't finish.
Sorry.
And that way I was able to sort of mold and shape the scene. You had your original scene as written and scripted, and then you could intersperse improvisational moments. So as a result, you have this wonderful combined sense of madness.
It was the drink that killed him.
How awful. He was an alcoholic.
No, he was hit by a Guinness truck. So it was quite literally the drink that killed him.
Oh, how tragic.
She knew that she had to hold the center sometimes in order for the comedy to work. I mean, and then she knew when she could break out and do it.
It's just so much fun. You never get bored, ever. You really just have to stay alive because you don't want to, you know, happen to have stepped on where he was going, you know, when he takes flight. You want to be able to see where he's going and not interfere or get in the way or...
Dog. You weasel.
I got the stretch outside. What? Does the waitress have a friend? A friend? Well, we could take him out and show him the town. Sort of a double date, huh? What do you say?
I'll go ask. You dog. Go
ahead. And I'd always catch him looking at me from the corner of his eye to see if I was laughing. There were times when it was too much for me to take. And I tried very desperately not to laugh, but you sort of have to just sort of ball yourself up and not laugh. And we had crew members leaving the room so they wouldn't destroy the take with their laughter.
How many people want a clean soundtrack?
Bob Hope live right here. Swear to God. Beautiful. We'll be right back. We're just picking out some things for Ruta Lee.
And it's wonderful because he gives and he takes, and you can top each other and still go on. I mean, if there was enough film, we could have gone on for hours just on one take.
And action.
So, Scarecrow, how about a little fire, huh? So, where are you from?
You big stack of hay. You got a needle in there somewhere? You shouldn't smoke when you're nothing but hay, Scarecrow. And you, Dorothy, how about those ruby slippers? Well, I got my own. Ooh, this is scaring me.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is really working, but don't get discouraged. You're my brother. I'm not going to let you look foolish.
All right.
I think we got to do the entire face.
Ooh, if I was deaf, I'd be doing a different act. Bless you, look at me now.
He's just this ball of energy and an amazing actor. So for me, it's just a complete joy as a director because he gives me a lot of choices and always, on every take, turns in a flawless performance.
I'd like you to meet the host of your new show.
Host?
Señora Doubtfire, dear. I specialize in the education and entertainment of children.
Surprise.
Mai's not really in the mood to talk. Well, yeah, depressed, you know. I mean, his marriage is ending.
My marriage is not ending. It's just on hiatus. I wanted to do it basically to talk about divorce using this comic device, using basically like, you know, pure farce. But in the process of doing that, to talk about, you know, a very painful issue, divorce and children and what they go through.
Thanks for the time, Warden.
You know, and it is, you know, you're taking something and, you know, using comedy, and some people are very uncomfortable with that, but other people, it's a way of getting them to deal with it.
Lydia, we gotta call the cops. We gotta call 911. What's the matter with you? Mrs. Doubtfire, she's a freak.
But it opens up a discussion, and it opens up a valid discussion, and a discussion that every divorced parent should have with his or her child. And I also think it opens up a valid discussion between married parents with their children.
The movie was really special for the sense that it really came off real, that it didn't have this happy, I mean, it had a happy ending, but didn't really have this sweet, happy, totally perfect ending. It really sort of gave the realism about it. It just sort of said, no, that this is the way it is, and usually everything will work out, even though it's not the perfect thing that could happen.
Set, action.
You're not mad at me?
I think it affects them realistically. I mean, they're very upset by it. And they don't want to have to choose between their mom or their dad at all because they love them both a lot. So it's kind of rough for them because they don't get to see their father as much as they'd like to and he'd like to.
Your Honor, please. I mean, every Saturday, that's one day a week. That's not enough. I have to be with my children. It's not a question, really. I mean, I have to be with them, sir, please.
It's that thing of no one can tell me I can't see them. So he goes to this extreme, takes an extreme measure to, you know, be with them more. You know, it is part obsession, but it's also part primal in the sense of I want to be with them.
I don't go to old lady bars or anything like that after work, you know? You know, it's the only way I could see you guys every day.
Who did this?
Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack.
And I know that the most important job you can do in this world is bringing up children. And this is a movie about that, about learning what that responsibility really is about.
It's your job to be our father.
No, it's not a job. It's a joy being your father. I've gotten so many letters from people all over the world saying thank you for talking about this, you know, from men, but also from women saying thank you for showing that it is, you know, that there's another way, that you don't have to use children as like little hostages to somehow seek vengeance on each other, to, you know, to try and say, even though you don't work out, that you still have a responsibility as a father, and that not to give up on that. I've also letters from people saying, I reconnected with my son, thank you. I mean, I know I took my children to see this, and somehow they understood, and I understood, and thank you. I mean, it's like this thing of saying it meant something to them, because they, you know, they've been through it. And just to say, yeah, you still are a family. You're not that kind of Norman Rockwell painting family. You're a different type of family, but you still have that responsibility. You still have a connection. And don't give up on that, or you'll spend years in therapy going, oh, I didn't make the connection.
There's always this stigma that's been attached to divorce. It still exists, even though most people end up getting divorced. And I think it's important to break that stigma. We tried to do as much as we could with Mrs. Doubtfire to break that particular stigma.
But if there's love, dear, Those are the ties that bind. And you'll have a family in your heart forever. All my love to you, Poppet. You're going to be all right. Bye-bye.
Speed.
Sound speed.
Marker.
Action.
Excuse me.
Welcome, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm Señora Doubtfire, and I'm very... Excuse me. My teeth. So, if you need any references, I've brought a few. No, I don't. I'm very sorry. I don't have them with me. But, if you'd like to ask anything, that's fine, if you wish. Should I sit, or,
Would you mind sitting down for us?
Oh, God, no. This is not basic instinct. Oh. If you don't mind, I'll just, You should never bother me. Oh, oh,
Do you live alone?
No, yes, I do. I have my 2 cats.
What are their names?
Puss and Boots. Hold on. Thank you. Hello, your name is? Fred.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Can I take
Fred.
your coat for you?
Please, Fred.
Thank you very much.
You look like a biker.
That's why they hired me for this job.
Big Fred. Thank
Yeah,
you, Fred.
yeah.
Thank you, Fred. Oh.
All that lace.
Little something I picked out. I thought would go very well. Oh, it feels lovely. Oh, pardon me. It's riding.
Try a little higher voice.
Well, I could try almost up in there. It's, you know, if you want just a little bit like that would be quite lovely. And then we'll put a little Scottish in there too, and then you have almost a wonderful problem, a mix of, well, you don't know where the hell I'm from, do you? Just traveling across borders and don't know where I am. All of a sudden, I'm moving around. Hold on a moment here. There we go. Well, if you just do, I'm not afraid to do a little minor house cleaning now and then. You know. There. Hold up. Oh, gosh. Well, you know, windows, chairs. I can fix things. I'm very good with my hands. I've always been very good. These hands, even though they're small. Hold on, I'll get it. We cut.
Mark.
Oh, well, just stay. And we're now just testing for what we like to call the clues. Very, very wonderful feelings. Seeing the Moppets. They're so beautiful, little poppets. They're gentle, sweet children. Not like the last group I was with, the daycare center of the damned. Very strange group as they were. But, you know, I've tried. Turn side. Could I what?
Turn side.
Oh, so this is like at the post office. The other way? Now this way?
Yes, perfect.
Now this way, the attractive one. Oops. Oh, thank you. It's good we found that out now. Very good.
At the end of a day, you know. Woo! Be great to see him sitting at home one day. The kids aren't there. He's watching a game. Come on! Do it!
Oh, hello. Yes, there, that's it. Oh. More tests.
Great.
That's a cut.
Mark.
Oh, God.
What are you drinking?
Well, it's gin. Slight mixture, a little bit of gin and nothing else. That's it. Mm.
Is it the first glass?
Oh, what?
Of gin.
I think just enough. As they say, not just the hair of the dog, the entire back. Oops. Very sorry about. Relax yourself. ease in for the
Okay,
moment.
Margaret. Mark.
Moment, ease out, and then no, it is. Oh, I'm a little lightheaded from all of this. It's wonderful, though. Quite wonderful.
Could you take a little drink and profile?
I could. 1 second. Hold on one. Oh, that's lovely. I drink to remember that I forgot to drink. Wait, I drink. I forget to remember to drink. No, I don't know what it is. It's sad. Oh, sometimes, you know, the makeup. Oh, God. Just a second. There's things, you know, you can do very quiet, subtle things. Oh, God, hello. I bought these at Sears. Hold on, there I am, back again. I think you just have to try and find that moment that just... Can I ask you just a serious question?
Yes.
Do you find me attractive?
Completely.
God bless you.
Okay, Margaret. Mark.
But I think if we keep it in that zone, there's a lot to do there, and then if we bring up the tone up to there and start to play with a little bit of our S's and our T's, we're very much in the zone, I think. But, you know, and if I want to increase volume, if you're not coming down now, don't make me come up the stairs, because it will not be a pretty picture. Good. Very well, then, and if I slip sometimes, and what? Don't say shit to me. Sorry. It's frightening when that happens. The entire room goes like... Salvatore, va bene, c'è ragione, Fabiana. Hello, welcome. Filming, we're testing. This is our third test, and we're hoping for the best. Looking there. Let's turn to the side, if you will. Follow me with your big boom. There we go. Make boom for Daddy. Oh, up here. Here we are. Very lovely to meet you. These are our glasses. They certainly help. Princess Anne, how old are you? Oh, very good. There we are. These shoulders do make me look like a scrum half.
It's a good game.
There we go. Quite lovely. If you just add a touch of that, then everything's just fabulous. All right, you want to take off the jacket.
And we'll take off the jacket. Marker.
See, those are half glasses. There and here. Put it down. Stop. Don't do that. There. No, no. Put it down. Sorry. Don't say shit. Remember, it's feces. These are our full glasses. There they are. And now I'll just try and give a little more tone to the stern Englishwoman who doesn't necessarily... Don't. Very good. Time for bed. Bed. Now let's also look at our hands today. Different makeups on different hands. No longer quest for fire. Look over here. We've got lovely... There's no longer a work in progress. They're soft, gentle hands and a lovely feminine watch from Sears. So sad about that. Last thing from the catalogue. There we go. It's all lovely. Seems to be working quite nicely, don't you think? I don't know if it's all there. If you just have a... What would you like, Don?
Pearls on the ears are a real good disguise for the joint.
For the where?
The joint.
Oh, for the joint. Yeah, I've been out for 5 years now. Well, I was in prison for mail fraud. Yeah. Oh, on my... for the joint. You're my bitch now. Yeah, I want you to be in my cell, Doubtfire. Mm-hmm. This would be great when the guy tries to mug him. He should just say, "Don't even think about it. I'll hit you so hard you have to fart to find your teeth." I'm very sorry. Or maybe he becomes Mrs. Ospenskaya. The son of the wolf! I love... Oh, don't start me off. I feel so excited here. Well, there's all sorts of things. You come in tighter. There we go. We're testing, looking in now to see if you see Carlsbad Cavern in my nose. Here we go. There. Here's a very attractive angle I don't think we'll ever see, but now is it looking better then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That side is.
Let's look this side now.
Marker.
Don't mind the lip. There, we just slight more rouge over here. Whew. It's below lens, so you didn't even know what I was doing. It's nice when you can. It's a lovely French move Don just made on the camera. That'd be what Truffaut, he would pan down and see, what is happening? My manless figure. Well, if it's all right with you, I think we've just shot the shit out of this.
Marker.
All right, and your name is? What's your name? It doesn't matter what your real name is. What's your real name?
My name is Mara.
Mara.
Mm-hmm.
Your name is Mara.
Mm-hmm.
What a beautiful name. Do you know what my name is?
What?
Iphigenia. Do you know what that means?
What?
I don't. I don't know what all that name means. That's a very beautiful dress. And what's your name?
Lisa.
Lisa. Yeah. Well, is there anything special you'd like to do right now, Mara?
I don't know.
We can make up stories, too. Do you ever make up a story?
Yeah, sometimes I make up stories. Because once on a commercial I did.
You made up a story on a commercial?
Uh-huh.
What was the story you made up?
This little bunny,
Mm-hmm.
he said, Dad, I want to go into the woods to cut down his trees. And his dad said, wait for me. And then but he didn't listen, and he got into a boat because there was a little river, and there was this branch in the middle of the river, and he said, uh-oh, and he landed in the river, and then his mommy and daddy came, and his daddy said, I told you not to go into the woods until I got there. And so they took him home, and the mommy gave him medicine, and then they all got up and they ate his pie.
We'll be right back. That was a wonderful story. Have you copyrighted that story?
What?
No, well, that's a different thing.
Mark.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Doubtfire, but you can call me Iphigenia, all right? And your name is?
Lydia.
Hello, Lydia. How are you? Nice to meet you. And you are?
I'm Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Yeah.
Hello. Oops. And you must be?
Natalie.
Natalie. Do you have any nicknames, Natalie?
Natty.
Natty.
Call me Natty.
Hello, Natty. Hello, Natty. Oh, that's lovely. What a lovely name, Natty. Well, what shall we do? Something wonderful and physical. Exercise, as in moving. Anything you'd like to do outside, away from Nintendo.
I like to play football.
Well, would you like to play? I only know how to play, well, it's English football, it's soccer. Would you like to play a game of soccer? Would that be fun? Would you like to play, Natty? I'm what's known as a fullback. Would that be fun? All right, let's go outside. We'll play outside.
Guys like to go back there, play maybe? In that little area over there?
You're going to go back? Oh.
Do some exercising back there.
This way, back here. We'll go play back here. Come back here. Have a football. Let's see now. Here's the ball. Hold on. Sit under the couch again. No. It's not there. Oh. Well, we have no soccer ball. Wait right there. I'll go find one.
Jumping jacks, maybe?
Jumping jacks. Ready? We should just do some jumping jacks to warm up. Just a few. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Come along now. Don't be afraid. let your arms go. And now we do this just like they do at the Bears training camp. There you go. And 1 and 2 and 1. All right, now just you and I. Ready? 1 on 1. Boom. All right, very good. Very good. All right, Natty. Here we go. And now we'll try something very special. These are just called like that. These are deep lunges. Very good for you. Deep lunges. One more time. Lunges. All right. Let's just take a moment. Shake it out.
Marker.
So I'm just getting a map of Arkansas on my legs.
God, I know. Those little spider veins, they just pop up.
Oh, that's not what I really need. Thank you for seeing me. This is so wonderful that you've done
Well, I'm
this.
so glad you could come by so late this evening.
Well, at any time, it'd be fine by me, really. It's wonderful just to be here.
Thank you. Well, who did you work for last?
Did I work for last? Well, there was the Getty. Oh, no, it was the Gottis, actually. Do you know the Gottis? Yes.
Could you guys change places?
Oh, forgive us. Thank you. No, the Gettys. I'm very sorry.
The Gettys.
I need my glasses. If it wasn't the Gottis, I think I'd remember that.
You need your glasses?
Yes, I have them now.
Are you
Thank
reading something?
No, I just want to check and see. I had my references here.
Marker.
That's so
Well,
lovely.
you could try the face.
I saw the ad, and you
Yeah?
know how lovely that thing is. I thought it was for relaxing my facial muscles.
Yeah?
I did, and...
Didn't it?
No, well... so
I
lovely.
suggest you keep it.
I'll try.
You'll find a use for it.
Oh, I think so. Oh, so nice that you have me here today,
Oh,
dear.
Liz,
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad you could come.
Well, it's nice to be
I
here.
have spoken to such strange people all day.
Oh, it's so hard to find the right person.
Good help.
And I hope I am that. I really hope I am.
I hope you are, too. I don't know.
You don't?
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm trained in all sorts of, in case of medical emergencies, I know CPR, the Heimlich, all forms of self-defense, if the children need to know that, too.
Oh,
I can, if necessary. And,
Have you had to perform a Heimlich maneuver or...
Once it was,
someone was choking?
Yes, on a piece of calamari, and I had to get behind them, and, if you needed it, it's just that... Well, I'm quite strong in my own way.
You look it.
Thank you. Well, I try. No, it's, I was an athletic person as a young girl.
I can tell.
Well, I try, and not anymore.
No.
As it is,
Well, age catches up with everyone.
It does, doesn't it? Some of us it gets near, others it drives over.
It drives right over.
It just and flattens them.
Flattens them.
Just leaves them there in the
I
dust.
know, like a pancake.